Nice to see you again for our last video of the night, our third video on solving two-step equations. And we're going to continue with simplifying. And this time we're going to simplify by combining like terms before we solve. And we've done this before, combining like terms. So before we can solve the equation, sometimes we combine like terms. So in number 9, 7x plus 3 minus 10x equals 18. Well, we can solve by combining these two terms, the 7x and the negative 10x. And that would be negative 3x plus 3 is equal to 18. So we combine like terms first. We always simplify before we solve. So from now on, when you take a look at an equation, you need to look. Are there any like terms that need to be simplified? Are there any parentheses that we need to get rid of before we actually solve? So now we're multiplying by a negative 3, and then we're adding 3. The inverse of that would be to what? That's right. Subtract 3, and then divide by a negative 3. All right? So let's do that now. Subtracting 3 from both sides to isolate and keep balance. Negative 3x is equal to 15. Divide both sides by a negative 3 to further further isolate and keep balance. X is equal to negative 5. Done. Moving on. Example 10. 4 minus 2y plus 3 equals negative 9. So now we have these constants that are like terms. And 4 and 3, that's 7 minus 2y is equal to negative 9. So what are we doing to y first? I know it's in a different looking order, but we're multiplying y by what? What are we multiplying y by? Negative 2. Remember, terms include the operation that come in front. So we're multiplying by a negative 2, and 7 is positive because there's nothing in front of it. So we're going to subtract 7, and then we're going to divide by a negative 2. So we're subtracting 7 from both sides to isolate and keep balance. Negative 2y is equal to negative 16. Divide by a negative 2 to further simplify and isolate. Y is equal to, dividing by negative 2 to keep it balanced. Negative divided by negative is positive. 16 divided by 2, that's right, it is 8. Y is equal to 8. Moving on. Well, I'm taking a look at this, and I see that I have parentheses and probably some like terms. So here's a great example of you need to get rid of parentheses first. We talked about this when we were doing expressions. It's the same when we're doing equations. So we want to simplify this first by eliminating parentheses. So negative 3 times t is negative 3t. And negative 3 times a negative 8, remember we can call that a negative 8, that is positive 24. Minus the 9 still is equal to 24 still. Combining like terms, now we have two constants that are the same. So negative 3t, and that's plus, and that's going to be 15 is equal to 24. So now we're getting to the point where we're multiplying by a negative 3, and then we're adding 15, so we can subtract 15, and then we can divide by a negative 3. All right, so in doing so, we would subtract 15. We have negative 3t equals 9. Dividing by negative 3, t equals negative 3. Outstanding. Pretty straightforward, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I know I'm going quick. If you have to, go back. After you've written it all down, go back and watch it again. Here we go. Our real-life application, we have 2 of these tonight before we're done. Number 12 says a taxi charges $2.50 plus $2.50, excuse me, I gotta start over. A taxi charges $2.50 plus $2 for every mile traveled. Find the number of miles traveled for a fare of $10.50. So our question says find the number of miles traveled. So my variable x is going to equal miles traveled. All right? It says they're charging us $2.50 plus $2 for every mile. So that's $2 for every mile that we travel. That's x. And we get a fare of, that means it's equal, $10.50. So the first thing we're doing is we're multiplying by 2, and then we're adding $2.50. So the inverse is to subtract 250 and then divide by 2. Subtracting $2.50 from both sides. To isolate and keep balance, 2x is now equal to 8. Dividing by 2, x is equal to 4. So, miles traveled, 4 miles traveled. Nice. Woo! I just love doing math. Moving right along, our last one of the night. Ethan planted a tree that is 37.5 inches tall. If the tree grows 3 inches per year, how long will it take for the tree to reach a height of 54 inches? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it says, how long will it take? So I'm going to use the variable y for years, or how long. And I'm going to assume that that answer is in years, because it doesn't say any different. It says 3 inches per year, so my answer is going to be in years. It says we start at 37.5 inches and then grows 3 inches per year. What operation do you think grows? That's right, we're going to add 3 inches per year. So 37.5 inches growing 3 inches per year. And how long is it going to take to get to 54 inches? How long before it equals 54 inches? So we're multiplying by 3, then we're adding 37.5. We're going to subtract 37.5, and we're going to divide by 3. So subtracting 37.5, 3y now equals 16.5. Dividing by 3, y equals 5.5. So that's 5.5 years, or 5.5 years. If you write 5.5 years, you're absolutely okay. You're absolutely okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're done tonight with our videos. Thank you so much for persevering. Although it's still less than 20 minutes, you have one last quick right to solve and this equation. And then please write down any questions that you have on two-step equations. You know the drill. You know the drill. Begin your assignment, complete your 45 minutes of quality effort, be accountable for what you're doing, be aggressive and use urgency so you can stay focused and use your time effectively. Wow! You are amazing. As always, I don't say it just to waste breath and take up more time. I say it because it's true. And I will see you tomorrow. And that's also true.